Okay, what we want to get out of this workshop, the accountability framework, we want to get to the point where our team are responsible, our team are accountable, and they know exactly what they need to do their job well, how to exceed in their role. Now, there's a few things that we're going to work on today in order to get to this position. We need to establish, firstly, some company values, some guiding principles so that our team can make decisions without us. These are going to be 3 to 4 top line statements that our team can overlay in any scenario to understand how to make the right judgment call. From there, we're going to have a little bit of a look as well at job description layouts, cross-reference against the job descriptions that you already use. And if you don't use them, we've got some links below for those as well. And then we're taking our values and our job descriptions, and then we're going to be creating this performance review framework. So to get our team members to be more accountable, we need to establish some guiding principles for them to make decisions. We need to establish what their expectations are in the role, and then we need to have a method of feedback by way of performance reviews to ensure that they are learning what they need to learn, that we have given them the information that they need, and also to identify if there is any discrepancies between how they are thinking or how they think they're performing versus how we think they're performing. And then we're going to show you how to do this performance review so that you can bridge the gap between where they think they are and where you believe they are. So let's have a little bit of a look firstly at how to establish some company values. Now I am going to open up screen share here and show us this page. This comes out of our business operating system in Notion, and I'm skipping through the purpose and mission component because through our Find My Purpose module that we have in school, you will be able to establish what that is. Through our financial forecast, you will be able to establish what your mission is. But today we really want to focus on these, I like to say 4 company values. The reason I don't want 12 is because no one can remember them. You'll have a hard time remembering them, let alone getting the team to remember them. 3 or 4 is absolutely plenty. I like whole numbers, even numbers, so I like to run with 4. And I'll set you on a little example. So at Build Clean, we used fucking smile, go the extra, own it, and use your noggin as our 4 core values. The reason we chose those is because in the construction cleaning, in the handover game, every day is handover, and we wanted to have our first core value to be a little bit triggering. Instead of saying positivity, we wanted to say something that got people's attention straight away. So by saying fucking smile, our core value there meant that every day is handover. And if you're met with a bit of resistance on site, or there are trades in the way, or anything of the sort, the things that we come up against all the time, the core value of fucking smile enabled us to be able to say, we've prepared for this. This is our job. This is how we make decisions. If you're in this scenario and you feel like you're getting a little bit hot-headed, remember that the core value is fucking smile. Again, to own it and go the extra, these are components about making sure that we own our mistakes, that we are willing to learn, that we are also making sure that we are going the extra, what we're doing when nobody is watching. Particularly with a lot of us, our trades are out there on site, relatively unsupervised, quite heavily autonomous, and we want to make sure that they can make the right decisions. And then obviously use your noggin for a bit of corporate governance and safety components. We wanted to bring that in and enable us to be able to call on that core value when people are making stupid judgment calls. You know, trying to lean across ladders, using unsafe scaffolding, running leads around, you know, any of those kind of components. It was very important, which still is very important for us, for the Build Clean team to have use your noggin there as well. Now, the examples that I've got in here for us, this is just to keep this creative juices going. Move fast, break less shit, collective perspective, amplify the experience, and give a couple fucks, give some fucks. I would like you to take out a piece of paper, write down the 4 buzzwords first. It's probably going to be something along the lines of speed, quality, positivity, teamwork, whatever those 4 buzzwords are, you might have 12 first, and you might chunk them down to say that positivity and good energy kind of equal the same thing. So we'll get our buzzwords, we'll condense them down into a single buzzword, and then I'll let you get creative about what the punchy statement is and also the meanings behind it. So a few dot points that drop down behind it. So get your core values sorted. And in just a moment, we're going to jump into how this then translates over to a job description. Okay, so our job descriptions. We need to make sure that we have established what is the key expectations for the role. What are the most important things that our team member needs to do? And for this example here, I've got a project manager's job description. So some normal good housekeeping, who they report to, who they're accountable for, what their remuneration is. That can be done in your employment contracts, depending on how you lay out your job description, but this template is also down below. The main components here, we have a purpose statement. What is the purpose of the role? For this job, for this project manager, purpose of the role is to maintain the projects that they're responsible for. The core deliverables for that role are somewhere around maintaining the client experience, maintaining efficiency on site, whether they are quoting their own work or whether they are just project managing their work. You'll have 3 to 4 core statements about what is the main deliverables of their role. We're going to get into more detail into the actual tangible things, but we want them to know at first glance, this is what the role entails. Now, if you're a stickler for the details like myself as well, you could absolutely work on a performance matrix, particularly when we're talking about project managers or we're talking about middle level management. I always like to track things like how much revenue did that person manage, what is their average gross profit on their jobs, and potentially what is their client satisfaction or customer satisfaction score that they get from the clients that they work with. Those kind of 3 key points enable me to see how much work they're actually doing, how well they're doing that work as far as efficiency goes, and then how enjoyable are they making that experience for the client. So if you want to include a performance matrix, I absolutely recommend it. But it's one of those levels where, as we talk about adding layers of sophistication, it's not a huge priority just now because you want to feel out your core values, you want to feel out the job descriptions, you want to feel out your performance reviews, and then you might come back through and overlay a little bit more accountability in this performance matrix. So we're then going to dictate in our job description what their performance review criteria is. So this is their job description. This is the key piece of information, the key plan for their role. We also want to let them know how they're going to be reviewed. So you can put a few dot points in here and say, this is the scenarios, reviews will be done quarterly, they'll be done with myself. The scenario will be 2-way performance reviewing. You get the idea. We can put some notes in so that they know to expect a performance review, particularly when they sign on to this job description. If you've already got job descriptions out, you may roll out a version 2.0 job description and have them acknowledge and sign on. We can see just down below, we've got an acknowledgement section. But we want to make sure that we're letting the team know that they will be performance reviewed and what the general requirements will be around that. Then we've got their core responsibilities. You can lay out here really the top responsibilities that they have, what they need to do. And then as we move down to the tasks and actions section, this is really where I find our job descriptions to have the most power, because I've found that it can be very easy to leave a job description and say, you need to work well in a team, you need to work autonomously, but fail to actually record what are the actions that this project manager role needs to do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and also on a monthly basis. And some examples here are going to be on a daily basis, have to arrive at the warehouse at 6:15 prior to technicians, something like that. They have to check their emails daily. They have to respond to clients daily. They have to check in on site or progress daily. And then on a weekly basis, they might have to report on their projects per week. They might have to conduct some performance reviews with the leading hands and the qualifieds and apprentices on a weekly basis to make sure they're fitting these things into their calendar. And then on a monthly basis, this is more around meetings, reporting, and also closing out the month, making sure that they're sending their invoices, progress claims, variations, and anything like that as well. So depending on how your company operates, you're going to have some of those may be mixed between weekly and monthly. But nonetheless, I think the important piece here is to be able to idiot-proof this job description for the employee, regardless of what level it is, to say this is what you need to do on a daily basis, and then these are the things that you will fill in on a weekly basis, and these are the things you have to do on a monthly basis as well. So I hope that gives you a very expressed look at a job description, but emphasizing the key points that we have there. And then next up, we're going to jump into how to translate both of these over, grab our core values and our expectations from our job description, and put them into a performance review framework. Okay, let's round out our accountability framework with how to actually present this job description, how to structure the job description, how to structure the performance review, and how to roll out the performance review, and actually how to conduct that performance review meeting. So let's set the framework first. I'll share my screen with you so you can have a look at how we lay out the performance review and bringing those values in. So let's have a look. Our performance reviews, we're going to carry over those core deliverables and bring those in from the job description. It's just to reiterate, this is the core deliverables of the role. We're also going to bring in, if you have gone and done the performance summary or the KPI summary, we're going to bring those KPIs in now so that you can report on how they're actually performing. And these performance reviews are done on a quarterly basis. So you'll be able to grab their monthly KPIs that they'll report to you on, get an average of those, and then have the discussion here about how they are actually performing in the role. Then we can see we've got core value 1, core value 2, core value 3, and core value 4. What we need to do here is grab the core values that we have for the business that we've done in the previous, at the start of the video. We're going to grab those core values. We're going to put that core value statement in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you are also going to grab their job description and open it up, maybe even print it off so that you can have a pen and paper. And we're going to set about creating 10, 15, 20, 25 questions, however many questions you like. We're going to set about creating a set of questions that they can self-diagnose and that you can also question them for to make sure that they are upholding that core value. So we're taking things like, if we were to say one of our core values is to own it. Just to use a bill clean example, let's say core value 1 is to own it. In their daily tasks of their job description, they need to arrive to work on time. And let's just say arrive to work before technicians. So core value 1, we could say that core value 1 is own it. We could say that question 1 is written exactly that I arrive to work prior to technicians. And then they can give them self-analysis, whether they're in crisis, poor, fair, good, or excellent. And also, when we're doing this, you'll be able to do an analysis for them as well. Now, we can overlap some of these questions too. You can also have some almost like trick questions in here. So you can reword or reskin a question based on how the people are doing on site. So if we have a fundamental issue with our team not reporting timesheets, we're going to put in one of our core values, let's say own it. We're going to have something to do with their timesheets in there as a question so they can score themselves. And then if we go down to another core value, we may have go the extra as our core value. And we could also respin that question about timesheets in there too, so that we can get a double hit at one of the major problems within the company, if that is a major problem. The opportunity or the idea here about this performance review is to grab all the information that is in their job description and be able to translate that over to a set of questions that we can open up the dialogue about them, as opposed to sitting down in a meeting very blank, very boring, and just say, this is your job description, you suck at all of this. We want to be able to have the conversation about, this is all the particulars about the role, this is what you're doing really well, and this is what you're doing okay, and this is what we believe that could be a crisis in as well. So I hope that gives you a good idea of how to at least structure your first set of performance reviews. And now a little bit just about how to roll out this performance review meeting. So you'll have your performance review framework, your template there. You'll print off 2 copies. You'll book in this meeting with the employee. Let's just say it's a project manager. You'll book in the meeting. And the initial meeting is to say, and I'm basing this assumption on that we don't have performance review a framework in at the moment. The first meeting will be just to say, this is what I think the performance framework should be. This is the questions. Let's fill this out and let's have a discussion about whether it works or not. So you'll print out 2 copies, you'll both work your way through, and then instead of you just grilling them on all the things that they're not doing well, you're going to have a discussion about, do you think that this performance review framework is going to help you do your best job? Do you think this is going to be able to make you excel in the role? Is this going to uncover the questions that we need to make sure that you're getting the training and support that you need? That's how we're going to roll out the first one. It's going to be quite casual. And then we can get into a good rhythm where every quarterly we're reviewing everybody within the company. And when we do this, we're saying again, we're printing off 2 copies and we're making sure that we take a little bit of time, have the person next to you or across from you, but together, taking some time to do our performance review separately. So they will do theirs, you will do yours for them in front of them. And then the game that we play here is to open up a discussion about first question, question 1. How did you go with this? What did you score yourself? I scored you this. I think we should have a scenario or have a discussion about this question in depth. And then you can go in and you can unpack it further. I would recommend that you have either some area for some notes or a separate notepad so that you can take down some points as well of things that that person needs to work on. And also, if you both rate someone excellent, let's just use that example of arriving to work on time. Let's say that this person just is always there, always beats you. We want to still be able to give credit where credit's due as well, and be able to say they're doing a fantastic job. The final piece to this as well that I have tried to do, and it can be hard because of the number of questions, but the final piece I've tried to do with this is to make the number of questions to add up to either 100 or a multiple of 100. So whether you've got 10 questions, whether you've got 20 questions, whether you have 50 questions, or whether you have 100 questions, I probably wouldn't go so far as to have 100. But nonetheless, we want to make it a multiple of 100 or divisible by 100 so that we can get out their performance review percentage. Not that it is a massive driver of their performance, but it may be a fun exercise to be able to compare all of our qualified technicians as to who's scoring where. That might be an interesting exercise, just of further data that you could add on, just to make this accountability framework just that extra level or have that extra level of detail. So I am always keen to review job descriptions, to review core values, to open up discussions about them as well, and also to review performance review frameworks and templates. And that's why we've got Q&A on the boardroom. So any questions that we have, let's chuck them in there. Let's RSVP those questions. Or you can throw them up in the school feed and we can get around to them before the call. Okay, let's get stuck in.